Hello, diners. Welcome back to Solo Dining with Karen Marie. Today, our meal is going to consist of seafood dressing, pan-seared shrimp, and we're going to have a shrimp bisque. Today, I am preparing the cornbread for the seafood dressing, and I am using it's a quick, easy cornbread dressing, and I'm just using a half a cup of cornmeal, half a cup of all-purpose flour. It's really I just call it a half cup cornmeal. A half cup of cornmeal, half cup of all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of salt, half cup of milk. We're going to use a little bit of vegetable oil, and that's going to be a tablespoon. I believe that's a tablespoon of vegetable oil. But anyway, and then I'm adding 2 eggs. There's the half a cup of milk. That is a quarter cup of vegetable oil. It's not quite a quarter cup though. And a half a teaspoon of salt. And we're mixing it all together to make our trusty cornbread recipe. And I like to make this cornbread when I'm making beans or greens or whatever it is that you want to have a small cornbread with your meal. And I always fit this in a 7 inch. I like to bake it in a 7 inch tin pan. That way, when you're done, you can throw it away. But I like the tin pan because you can keep it in the pan, and they come with little cute lids and stuff. So I buy all those things, the scale back, smaller dishes because it's just me. I'm just making. I don't want to make a large skillet of cornbread. You could put this in a cast iron skillet. I also have a 7 inch cast iron skillet, but for this, I just want to do this. I want to keep it simple. I don't want to do a lot of cleanup. So when I'm done with this cornbread, I can throw the pan away and let that be that. So now we've done made the cornbread, and I'm getting ready to put that in the oven and get ready to start on my other recipes. My other meal, part of the meal. See how quick that was? Yeah, she's ready for the oven. All right, look at that golden brown, beautiful cornbread. Yeah. Now I'm getting ready to start on my bisque, my shrimp bisque. But this is not just for the shrimp bisque. It's not just for the soup part of it. I am making this because I'm going to add some of this to the dressing. So got my butter in the pot. Getting ready to add the other ingredients to it. I got to fix the temperature on here. And then I'm adding some onions that I chopped up earlier. All right, I'm using lobster bouillon, shrimp bouillon, gumbo filet powder, Chef Pampidon seafood magic, slap somebody, and shrimp soup, cream of shrimp soup. Got me some crab meat, claw crab meat, and I got a little can of tiny shrimp. Now, when you're making this seafood dressing, look, don't do like I just did and dump all the flour in at one time. You got to give it a little sprinkle. So I dumped all the flour in at one time, and I mean, I've made this recipe so many times, I don't even know what made me do that. But anyway, your girl was having a moment. So anyway, I dumped all the flour in at one time. So I'm gonna have to add a little bit more butter because yeah, I made a boo boo. But anyway, so yeah, this recipe here, you can use anything, any seafood that you want. I like to use shrimp. I like crawfish tails, and I like crab meat in mine. You can put lobster, whatever it is you like in there. You can go ahead and put that in there. But today, as I have crawfish tails, but I'm not using them. I'm just doing this simple, quick, and easy. But as you can see, you can add whatever you want in here. So today, mine is just the tiny shrimp, and I got some crab meat that I'm adding it in here because I'm everything is seafood today. Well, everything is shrimp today. So basically, this is basically shrimp day. So in here, I'm adding some celery to this to the pot. Still got to add a little bit more butter. If I'd have done it right in the beginning, I could have just did it all at one time. Put the butter and then put the celery and onion in. But I really still like to put the onion in first and let it cook a little bit, and then I'll add the celery along with the all-purpose flour. I'm adding some Chef Paul Prudhomme seafood magic, and we're gonna slap somebody. So we're gonna add some of that. When you record and a lot of things don't turn out right like you wanted, you just have this perfect scenario in your head that everything's gonna turn out perfect as you recording. But we make mistakes, and I didn't want to do a lot of different takes. I just keep going. No matter what, just like in life, you can make mistakes in life, but just keep on going. Don't stop. Don't let that mistake stop you from living your life. Keep going, no matter what, and you can make something good out of those mistakes. All right. So getting this together, I had to add a little bit more butter, as you can tell. Now I could have did it all right at one time, but hey, like they say, players mess up. And so now I'm grating a little bit of garlic in here for that little pinch. Now here you can add all kind of stuff, thyme, and I mean everything. And I didn't have you can add wine to it. I didn't have wine. I just kept it simple today. I can just get fancy with it. I mean, you can really get fancy with this bisque, honey. Yes, you can. And you can do all kinds of stuff like take your lobster tails. I like to take the lobster tails and make the stock out of it and all that. But today I made seafood stock by using a little bit of when I showed you earlier that I had the shrimp bouillon, and I had the better than bouillon lobster base, and I used that to make my seafood stock for this bisque. And then I added some more stuff to it too. Also, I took the tiny shrimp, that comes with juice in a can. So I took that, and I'm going to take it and pour it in with the stock. We don't want that to go to waste. So yeah, just take that and pour that in the stock. Just pour that in that stock so it won't go to waste. Just extra flavor. It's a flavorful stock. You can take the shells of your shrimp and everything, but like I said, I can get fancy with it, but hey, we're just gonna do it this way. So now we're just adding that stock to the pot, that seafood stock to the pot. Make it nice and flavorful. It's going to be yummy. Okay, we're getting ready to start on the dressing. So I'm going to cut this cornbread in half. And I only needed half the cornbread for this recipe because I'm making one small 7-inch pan of dressing. So that is going to be enough. Half of that pan is going to be enough to make your dressing. I'm using the ingredients that I have on hand. Like I said, I can get buck wild with it, but we're using what we have on hand and it's still going to be delicious. Okay, that shrimp, I'm going to add that into the pot later. But right now we have something else to do. Letting it thicken up. Oops. Yeah, it's getting nice and thick. I'm adding some filet gumbo powder. Blend that in real good. It's getting bubbly now. Just thickening up like I like it. I'm going to add a little bit of cream, a little heavy cream to the pot. I'm adding some filet gumbo powder to the dressing mix. I don't know what it is about it, but it makes it taste wonderful for me. I like it. Okay, we're going to add some shrimp. I normally throw a boatload of shrimp and crawfish tails in there. Yeah, it's really yummy when it's all nice and warm. I'm adding some celery in here. I like celery in it. And now it's time to add a little bit of this claw crab meat to it. I want more of the crab flavor. I don't have to have the texture. So it doesn't matter if you just kind of, break it up in there a little bit. I just want a little bit of crab in every bite. But I don't want to put the whole, it's just, not all of that in there. You can. if you want. If you choose to, it's yours. And now we're going to add a quarter cup at a time of this shrimp bisque. With the bisque, it's not shrimp yet till we add the shrimp, but we're going to add a little bit of that to the dressing. I'm still going to add more, but for starters, I like to just give it and see, put a little bit in there and see how far I need to go from there. Because that really makes it delicious, in my opinion. And I make this meal so much. This is one of my favorites. Okay, add a little bit more of the bisque. Put a little butter in there. Melted butter. Give it that creamy taste. Nice and buttery. Now we can add the rest of the shrimp. Could have dumped it all in there in the first place. I'm being a little extra now with this. I'm gonna add a couple heaping spoonfuls of cream of shrimp soup. Not too much, just enough. I don't want to add the whole can. Like I said, it's just a small batch, so you don't need the whole can. You could use it for something else. And I'm going to make some crab dip, and I'm going to use the rest of that, and I'm going to use the crab claw meat because the crab dip is going to be for one person. Now I'm adding the shrimp to the pot. I'm going to let that cook. Let the bisque cook the shrimp. You could pan sear it first if you want to, but I like to do it this way. I like for the bisque to cook the shrimp. Gives it a nice pop. It's not overcooked. And it's quick and easy, and it doesn't seem like it because we're recording quickly. We're recording, but it's a quick recipe. It's not an all day. You have to stand over the stove all day and do it. If if you're gonna do it, go ahead and do it. So it was, the cornbread took about 2 minutes and 15 minutes in the oven. And while the cornbread was in the oven, you do other things. Got a little 7-inch pan, see that? Same as that cornbread pan. I got a little 7-inch, and when I'm done with this dressing, throw the pan away. No dishes to wash. Huh? Sometimes I do actually put it in another pie pan, or another dish, but this works perfectly fine for what we're doing. Give it a stir. Add a little bit more cream. Because why not? Yeah, look at that. It'll be nice and creamy. It's gonna be good. It's flavorful. Got that seafood stock in there. Got that filo gumbo powder in there. Like I said, there's so many different ways to make this bisque. I'm using what I had on hand again. Add some parsley. Give it a stir. Go ahead and put that in the oven. And boom, there it is. Seafood dressing. Now I'm getting ready to make the pan-seared shrimp. Just a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of butter. And grate this garlic. It's gonna be alright. You know, you say you don't want the garlic to burn, and you don't. But it was still delicious. You'll see. The Chef Pappardon Seafood Magic is perfect for this. I'm not an expert chef. Just somebody that like to cook at home. I don't eat out a lot. I really don't care much for eating out a lot. I like to make my own recipes at home. And I will eat out, but I prefer home cooked meals. Where I get what I want, the way I want it, how I want it, when I want it. Alright, we're letting that cook real good. And when it's done, I'm going to flip it over. Trying to get all my other things together right now because I'm about to get ready to start eating. And I can't wait until the shrimp is done. Whew. I'm telling you. And normally when I make this meal, I usually make it the seafood dressing, the bisque, and I also make fried pork chop with it. That's my favorite. Sometimes I'll pan fry some catfish as well. Every time I make seafood dressing, I always make a bisque. And sometimes I pour that bisque over my dressing when I'm done. Oh, it is good that way too. So it's almost like a, what do you call it, like a giblet gravy, when you're making chicken and dressing or turkey dressing and you pour the giblet gravy on. I use that seafood, that shrimp bisque. Sometimes I call it shrimp bisque today, but it's usually seafood bisque because I put a lot of other stuff in there as well. But yeah, I pour that over that dressing a little bit, let it hit, and it is so good. It's delicious. I also, like I said, I like, really with this meal, I really like pork chop, a fried pork chop. But today, we're doing pan-seared shrimp. And this is good too. Perfect. Give them a flip. Because I'm about ready to eat. I don't know about y'all, but I am about ready to stuff my face. Yes, it is just about ready. And here it is. Look at that. Creamy shrimp bisque. All that. Look at that dressing. Dip that. Ooh, it's so good. Dip that in there. Take a bite of that bread. Take a chomp of that right there. Delicious. Friends, thank you guys for joining me today. I'll be back with another video soon. Have a great day.